As soon as I saw that CRKT had redesigned and was doing a new series of the M16 line, I said to myself, I must buy this knife. Reason being, the M16 03KS, which is what this model is, and I believe that's the same number, I could be wrong on what I originally purchased, was my first serious EDC pocket knife I ever purchased when I was 17 years old. Now, prior to that, I had only been carrying a Swiss Army knife that my dad had given me when I was like 9 years old, and I would carry that basically only if I was out on the trail, or I was going camping, or I knew that I was going to do some work around the house and needed to have some sort of a multi-tool Swiss Army knife type of feel. The original CRKT M16 that I purchased, that model, was really the first time that I thought about carrying a knife every single day, and putting it in my pocket when I walked out the door. Prior to that, that concept just really hadn't hit me, and that was the first knife. I saw it. It was satin finished, the black handle. Back then they were like polymer with liner locks. They had their auto lock feature. I don't even know if the pocket clip was reversible, but it seemed to really look cool and connect with me. One of my other buddies, who's a little bit older, was carrying one of those every single day. He loved it, and he was like, dude, this is the knife to get. So I picked it up, and that was before I knew anything about knives. So there is just that huge nostalgia factor with this design. But as time went on and I began to learn more about pocket knives and just get to the feel for the knife after, maybe 6 months to a year of carrying it, I just wasn't really digging the auto lock or whatever they called it feature. That was like a dual locking system. I wanted something that had reversible pocket clips, and there were just some aspects to the knife that weren't connecting with me any longer. So I gifted it away to a friend and have moved on down the line. And really, when I did that, I kind of, at the time, said peace out to CRKT when I was about 19 to 20 years old, and that was like 12 years ago. I said, you know what, there aren't really any other designs that are connecting with me. And so for a long time, if you've been following the channel, we haven't really reviewed a lot of their stuff until really the last year or so, because the designs and the features really weren't connecting with me. But in the last year, they've really stepped up their game in some of their materials as well as their features and design. And that's no exception with this layout. They've upgraded the steel to a Sandvik 12C27 steel, which is pretty comparable to AUS 8, right in that world, which is awesome. I have no complaints with that for the price point that we're going to discuss here in just a moment. They removed those polymer scales with the liner lock and have made it into a frame lock, so really nice and solid. Totally digging that. Giving us black on black, 4-way directional pocket clip, all 4 directions, tip up, tip down, right or left, and have removed that secondary auto lock feature. All the things that I basically had complaints with out of the gate with the original design of the M16. This model now just super connects with me, and for the $40 price point. That's what I paid for this. I will have links in the description below over to Amazon and to Blade HQ. When you guys use those hyperlinks, helps me get out there, purchase knives just like this one to give you full, honest, comprehensive videos. And guys, I got to tell you that for what this knife offers for the $40 price point, CRKT has nailed it, totally nailed it, and has not only now rekindled a nostalgic feeling to me with this knife, but has really upgraded it in every single way and given us a fantastic folder for $40. So as I said a moment ago, 4-way directional pocket clip, blacked out. I love the black on black. They really did that well too. And you're getting basically, with the concept of this being more, I mean, you can easily see it, but like the idea of it being more of a hard use tactical style folder. So it is not going to have that loop over high ride. There's about an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch sticking up, so you can grab that with gloves on, if you're at the range, running and gunning, whatever the case may be. But because of it still being pretty low and it being blacked out, it doesn't have a huge profile. Really nice, just a little bit of flex, all aluminum handles, so that it's not going to thrash your pockets, but the retention is really strong, so it's not just going to pop out, if you are, again, running a gun and rolling, bending down, doing different things like that. And again, 4-way, awesome, totally love that. Finger flipper. So obviously, if you're right or left-handed, this is going to be great. I see one bronze phosphorus bushing, and then the other one, it might either be hidden or there's something going on the other side, and I'm not quite sure. But after a day, it was a little tight to start with, but after a day of use, boom. I mean, this thing just flies open. A little bit of jimping on that flipper, so it's really easy to grab either with or without gloves on. But I don't even have to flip my wrist, and that blade will fly right open. And then it hits these 2 thumb studs, which are not really able to be actuated. They're flush with the handle. They're just there to be that stop kind of stop bar because there's no bar back there to do that. So really good, super nice, good strong lockup with that frame lock, and we'll come back to that in just a moment and discuss that. Really good, hitting almost like 100% of the back of the blade there. Flow through construction, large handle. It's a 4.6, and I wear large size gloves, as you guys know. I mean, I'm totally locked into place there. Really dig that a lot. Going to come in at 3.7 ounces, so under 4 ounces. That's great for the blade length being an overall 3.55, so 3.5 basically, and like a 3.375 cutting edge. Spear point with that huge swedge right there. Hollow grind. You know, definitely a good slicer. There are, you know, blades, if they're FFG, full flat grind with a higher grind angle and bigger belly, would slice a little bit better. But I think this, with its more, you know, piercing spear design, still great for EDC and really good for stabbing, penetrating, you know, that type of thing. It's going to work well with that aspect. And that finger flipper right there acts as a good guard. I mean, you're locked into place regardless of the grip that you're holding on to. A little bit of jimping right there, but not sharp and aggressive, so it's going to feel good regardless if you are, you know, wearing gloves or, you know, you're looking for that harder use grip. You're going to have really good, you know, purchase on the knife, or just for EDC tasks, and, you know, you're just basically going around the office and carrying it, you know, when you're going picking up groceries with your wife, that type of thing. Either way, going to work really well with that and give you good grip and good ergonomics with the design of the blade. Flow through construction, perfect centering, amazing. Really love that aspect a lot. Now to my only critique with the knife is that the frame lock is in line with the handle scale. It's flush, which means you kind of have to stick your thumb in there to get the purchase to disengage. Now, lockup is great and the opening mechanism is great, but you really got to kind of push and then, you know, remove and then push to the side. So you're pushing in and then out, which is kind of strange to me. Most frame locks, here is real steel that we've reviewed, you know, frame lock design. But you can see here that the frame lock goes slightly below the G10 handle scale, just making it a little easier. You don't have to push in as much to disengage the frame lock. So it's flush, so you just gotta kind of push in, get some meat into your, of your thumb into that, and then push out. It's not a big deal. It's not that, you know, big an issue. My wife did, you know, catch onto that and pick that up. I handed the knife to her. I do that with almost every pocket knife we get. She was playing with it and she said, huh, it's kind of hard for me to disengage that frame lock compared to some of the other ones. Don't mind Tommy the trail dog. Saw a squirrel or something. And I agree with her that you do just have to put a little bit more pressure, a little bit more effort, and it is a little bit more wear on your thumb than your average frame lock because the frame is slightly not flush with the handle. So that is something that was a little interesting. I don't know why they did that. I don't know if they just wanted to give you extra purchase and you know, that you don't accidentally disengage it. I would have liked to see just a little bit of a lip there on the frame so you could disengage it without as much effort. But other than that, folks, they have two other designs. They're both Tanto designs right now. I would love to see them basically just continue along with this price point, these materials, everything that we're seeing here, removing the stuff that I didn't like in the past, which was great. Good job, CRKT. And give us some, you know, other blade options would be great. Give us some larger ones, you know, with that drop point or a bigger bellied spear point. And I'd love to see this line and with this type of layout continued around the same price point between $40 and $50. I would love to see that and maybe get a couple more options out there for people. Right now, again, 3 with those links below. So thank you so much for coming over here today, guys, checking out the channel. Please subscribe, comment, like, share this video. Love to hear your guys' thoughts. If you're looking for some nostalgia, check this guy out. They really did a great job upgrading it. And finally, check us out on all the relevant social media as well as the subscribe button. We're throwing up videos every single week. So if you're not a current subscriber, I would ask you to consider becoming part of the GT family. We're throwing up videos every single week. And finally, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.